Alright, so what we're going to do right now is just open up the mom till late index page, and we're going to do exactly the same thing in guest mode. So I'm going to do the guest mode a bit later, but let me just quickly do the same thing for administrator access. So when anybody goes to the language interface and then selects administrator access, they have to log in to the admin panel. And the thing is that if somebody decides to inspect source this thing by going to inspect sources, they can actually get access to things which come after this, because once you can see, as this happens, the users can actually just completely copy this folder and download it. So if somebody decides to actually skip this, then it'll be pretty easy for them to do it. So now I'm actually putting in the correct email, but I'm going to put in a false password, which is actually incorrect. And as you can see, upon clicking on login, the password is invalid. So if I put in the correct password, which is, I think that's the correct password. Yeah, then we get to this interface, which is the same interface that somebody will get into after logging in. Now let's say I am a hacker and I'm able to hack this file, and I'm able to come here without logging in, and I've done the same thing, but this time around I've logged in. So if I go to my accepted list, do exactly the same thing right here. So you can see we have some data, and I can actually add data. Let me just add a few blank samples of data, as you can see right here. I'm gonna just delete these. Okay, let me quickly just delete 4 of these because of the 5th one down here, which I'm not going to delete. And as you can see, the CRUD functions worked clearly and the delete function also worked. But now when I update this, I definitely do get the data, but upon clicking on delete and updating it, it doesn't work, and that's because I'm not authenticated. And also, the reason why I opened this in guest mode was because if I didn't open it in guest mode and if I would have got this file, it's actually a one-time login indirectly, and as you can see in my inspect console, the user is logged out. And if you do the same thing over here, if we do the inspect console, same exact thing, you can see the user is logged in. So that's the main thing, and once that happens and that works out, then that's the authentication functioning like it should. And if anybody decides to hack the website or get the folder source and download this process data administrator information, they wouldn't be able to edit it, because if I try to delete all of this and update it, it doesn't work. And if I do exactly the same thing here, because I'm logged in, it's going to work out pretty well. So that's what the Firebase authentication rules are, and that's basically what means that I have authenticated the website completely, which is good. And that just means that no one can hack Momtalade, so which is pretty good. It's actually very, very useful, and I'm also quite glad I've put this in the process journal, because that's when it's going to become pretty useful in the end of it all.